So, your new spa has just been delivered and you're left with a bag full of chemicals that you don't know what to do with. What do you add? How much do you add? What is this piece of paper trying to tell me? That's what I'm here to explain. First and foremost is chlorine. Aside from killing bacteria, chlorine is actually able to bond to the contaminants in your water and oxidize them, allowing for contaminants to be caught in your filters that would normally go right through them. The amount of chlorine that you want in your water ranges from 3 to 5 parts per million, which is a tiny amount of chlorine compared to the huge amount of water you have. Most of our chemical concentrations are measured in parts per million. On your water report, you'll be seeing the term a lot. Chlorine is normally split up into 2 separate components. Free chlorine is the chlorine that's available to sanitize your water, whereas total chlorine is a combination of your free chlorine plus the chlorine that's already being used to sanitize. Ideally, you want as much of your chlorine to be as free as possible. Having a high difference between free and total chlorine can indicate some water care issues. What goes hand in hand with chlorine is something called cyanuric acid, or CYA for short. CYA is a chlorine stabilizer. It prevents your chlorine from being destroyed by heat and sunlight and can make the chlorine feel less harsh on your skin. Be careful not to have too much CYA though, as this can result in a chlorine lock, which makes your chlorine completely ineffective. Adding granular chlorine will always add a little bit of CYA to your water. Liquid chlorine, on the other hand, does not. If you find that you do have too much CYA, then you'll need to drain a little bit of water out of your spa and dilute it with fresh water. Next, let's talk about pH. It's exactly what you remember from high school chemistry class. pH is a scale used to measure how acidic or basic your water is. We want your pH to be between 7.2 and 7.6. This is important because your pH affects not only the comfort of your water, but also the effectiveness of your chlorine. And we can't talk about pH without also talking about total alkalinity. Alkalinity is defined as a measure of the water's capacity to resist changes in pH. Simply put, if your alkalinity is super high, then you'll have a harder time moving your pH around. Having high alkalinity can cause cloudy water, discomfort, and will even make your chlorine less effective at sanitizing. If your alkalinity is high, then you can just use pH decreaser to bring your alkalinity down. Your pH will probably drop below where you want it to be, but once you have your alkalinity down, you can use pH increaser to bring it back up without increasing your alkalinity. Something you definitely don't want a lot of in your water is calcium. Calcium, measured by how hard or soft the water is, will slowly build up in your plumbing over time, causing clogs and leaks. If you have a salt system, high calcium will also make it less effective at generating chlorine. To avoid having too much calcium, we recommend filling your spa with a water softener. If you aren't able to do that, you can also use a Vanishing Act pillow, which will suck the calcium out of your water. Then you just throw the pillow away and the calcium with it. Just be careful not to squeeze the pillow while you're removing it, or else you'll re-add all of the calcium that you just got out of the water. Of course, you don't want a calcium level that's too low either, or else your water may start foaming and it can even damage your heater. The recommended concentration of calcium in your water is 25 to 75 parts per million. If you fill through a water softener, then your calcium level may end up being below that minimum. So it may be necessary to add some calcium back into your water using calcium hardness increaser. The last chemical that we have to talk about is phosphates. Phosphates, to put it simply, are feeding food for algae. Ideally, you want no phosphates in your water at all. If you have high phosphates, then all of the chlorine that you add will be spent fighting off the growing algae as opposed to sanitizing your water. Getting rid of phosphates is super easy with phosphate remover. Fill up a capful and dump it into the filter housing. Now, if your phosphate levels are super high, your water will probably cloud up, which is normal. Just let the jets and filters do their thing and it'll clear up. Around 12 hours after you apply phosphate remover, you'll want to rinse out your filters really well because phosphates can clog up your filters fast. The best way to test your water chemicals is to bring a water sample into one of our showrooms where we can run it through a machine and print a by the numbers report for your water. It can be tedious to come in and get your water tested all the time though, which is why we offer different kinds of test strips. 5-way strips test 5 different things: free chlorine, total chlorine, pH, alkalinity, and calcium hardness. To use a 5-way strip, you'll want to put the strip pretty deep in the water and then sweep your arm. Then, remove the strip from the water and look at what color the dots are. The color of the dots will tell you where your water is at. Phosphate strips are a little different. Instead of the dots on the strips changing color in the presence of phosphates, the phosphate strips actually change the color of the water. Because of this, a small test tube is included with phosphate strips. To use phosphate strips, fill the test tube up with water up to the fill line, then bend the test strip into a J shape, being careful to not crease it. Insert the strip into the test tube and close the cap. Now, slowly tip the test tube side to side 10 times so that the little air bubble in the test tube travels from one end to the other. When you're done, take off the cap and look at the color of the water through the test tube to see your phosphate levels. Keeping your filters clean is one of the most important things you can do for your spa. If your filters get dirty or clogged, then the spa won't be able to heat properly and the jets won't feel as powerful as they normally do. We recommend chemically cleaning your filters once per month, but your timing may vary depending on usage. For spas with multiple filters, it's worth noting that only one of your filters is plumbed to the circulation pump and heater, while the other filters are plumbed to the jet pumps. The filter with the gray standpipe is the one for your heater. If this filter clogs, the spa will not be able to heat. To check if this filter is clogged, remove the filter cap and place the palm of your hand over the hole. If you feel suction, then the filter is restrictive and not enough water is getting through the filter. You can test your jet pump filters the same way while the jet pumps are running. If you find that your circulation filter is dirty, but your jet filters are clean, you can simply rotate out the dirty filter for a clean one. For paper filters, we recommend fully replacing them once per year. For the Tri-X filters, they're typically good for 3 to 4 years before needing to be replaced. Brand new spas may have contaminants left over from the factory, turning your water green and gross. If this happens to you, then you'll unfortunately need to drain and refill your spa. When this happens, it can be super frustrating, especially as a new spa owner. But this is usually just a one-time thing. Future fills will be pretty seamless. And those are the basics for chemicals. Water care takes quite a lot of trial and error to really nail down. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us and ask for help. And if your spa has a salt system, be sure to check out our video on how those work as well. Enjoy your new spa!